Hi, this is Truthsandroses. I have had numerous experiences lately that have made me start to really wonder what some Christians would be like without their faith. And to be frank, I'm extremely concerned. So I intend to share on this video my personal beliefs on faith, science, religion, and atheism. I'm a secular humanist and an atheist. I have become extremely frustrated with the number of people, especially here on YouTube, who question the morality and value of atheists such as myself. Although I certainly can't speak for all the atheists that are out there, I intend to share my personal beliefs and hopefully shed some light on the subject. Many people, when I bring up that I'm an atheist, have asked me why I don't just go around pillaging, killing, and committing all the types of sins that there possibly could be. They ask me why I would have any type of motivation to do any good. They call me terrible names and tell me what will certainly be my fate. I feel a deep concern in my heart for these people. I truly do. I wonder, what is it exactly that you could do without your faith? I certainly have no desire to cause harm to any person or animal. I'm deeply involved with a lot of positive community projects, all of them on a volunteer basis. I spend the majority of my time trying to change this world for the better. And not because I believe that there's going to be some glorious reward in the afterlife. For me, truly understanding some of the answers to the age-old questions, like where did we come from, why are we here, and what's going to happen to us when we die, has given me a tremendous feeling of purpose and responsibility. Now, I came from a very strict religious background, where I was a very active participant for many, many years, like many atheists. And although I do think that it would be wonderful if when we died there was this glorious heaven for all good people to enjoy for eternity, I also think that it would be wonderful if there was a real Santa Claus that brought presents to every child that deserved them, or that I wish there was a magic lamp that I could find and rub and get 3 wishes out of it. But there are many pleasant fantasies that we can choose to believe. But I happen to believe with Carl Sagan when he says that it is far better to grasp reality as it really is than to persist in delusion, however reassuring and satisfying. I didn't choose to become an atheist because I was angry at God, or because I was angry at my parents. I didn't choose to become an atheist because I wanted to go around doing terrible things and just didn't want to suffer the consequences. I became an atheist because of the overwhelming, publicly available evidence. Richard Dawkins said, "Science offers us an explanation of how complexity, the difficult, arose out of simplicity, the easy. The hypothesis of God offers no worthwhile explanation for anything. It simply postulates what we are trying to explain. It postulates the difficult to explain and leaves it at that." Of course, with no afterlife, there was a tremendous spark of urgency that lit within me. I now understand that this life, the brief years that I have, are my only chance to make any kind of a difference. They're my only opportunity to contribute to society and to lead the necessary changes that must happen for us to become a truly stable, peaceful civilization. I must do everything that I can, make the most out of each and every day, not pass up one opportunity to do good. When you accept this, suddenly things are put into perspective. I no longer care about owning expensive things or bickering with loved ones over trivial matters. The enlightenment of society is my real only concern and my major goal. Now, please do not get the impression that I don't make mistakes or get distracted. I am more human than most people. I'm young, I'm 23 years old, I do a lot of the things and enjoy a lot of the things that young people do. But everything that I do, I try to do in moderation and with humility, and I try to fill my life with meaningful things and meaningful people. I will never attempt to ridicule somebody for their faith, especially after my experiences with the people asking questions that I mentioned earlier. If having no faith would mean that you would go around doing terrible things to people, then by all means, please do not give up your faith. I wouldn't even want you to give it a second thought. But if you want the truth and you're willing to pay the dues, there's really only one solution. The greatest thing about science for me is the open-mindedness that must come with it. In science, when a new theory is presented, it is published openly and critiqued heavily by educated people in the field. It then must be tested, retested, and consistent results must be achieved in order for there to be any credibility associated with it. However, if the same rules applied in religion, let's say an authority figure in the church was to come out with a statement that was professed to be the will of God, and the members of the church were to critique and demand evidence and ask all types of questions about it, the whole foundation of that church would fall apart. In science, the same rules apply. Whether you're in America, England, Asia, Australia, it doesn't matter what color your skin is or what language that you speak, the same laws all apply. However, in religion, it varies a lot depending on what area of the country you're in, depending on what your heritage or ethnicity is, and everybody seems to have kind of a different perception on who God is. When I ask a Christian person what could possibly happen, even in an imaginary scenario, that could ever make you not believe, the answer is almost always the same. Nothing. Absolutely nothing could shake my faith. Although I do admire the loyalty of such people, should there really be anything that we are that sure about? I'm certainly not that sure of my beliefs. I am totally open to the possibility that everything could change tomorrow and we could have new evidence. I would love to explore the opportunities that other pathways lead to, but if the evidence is not there, I'm going to use my rational thinking and make that decision for myself. If there's nothing that could ever make you see things differently, then that's truly blind faith. If I have to choose between believing something that goes against the evidence and requires me to disable my critical thinking skills and accepting facts and theories, which I could recreate myself and observe the results, well, the choice is going to be very simple for me. My favorite quote, which is the inspiration for my screen name, comes from one of my favorite authors, Henry David Thoreau. He said, "Truths and roses have thorns about them." To me, that means that truth is a beautiful thing, just as a rose. But sometimes, in order to embrace the beauty, there's a chance of mild pain as we go through the process of acceptance. Ultimately, however, the beauty of the truth far outweighs the temporary emptiness that is inevitable when one gives up a long-time belief. I hate to repeat myself, but most children are sad when they first realize that Santa Claus is not real. And that's usually within the first few years of their life. It's totally understandable that if you've grown up in a strictly religious environment where everything in your life is built around your faith, that letting go of that is going to be undoubtedly very difficult. But I tell you, it's definitely worth it. Absolutely. In the marrow of my bones, I believe that. And I know that there's going to be a day soon, probably within the next 100 years, that religion is going to be seen as nothing more than the meme that it is. Now, I've read the Bible numerous times, along with multiple other religious scriptures from various denominations. If you would like me to read yours, I would be more than happy to do so, and promise you that I will do so with an open mind and by applying only the basic critical thinking skills that I would apply in reading any piece of scientific literature. In exchange for that, I would like you to read something from my collection, possibly The Blind Watchmaker by Richard Dawkins, or Shadows of Forgotten Ancestors by Carl Sagan. I ask that you use the same thinking skills and open-mindedness when you read the books, which do not profess to be from God, and frequently say things like, "But of course, I could be wrong." Reading from these books could certainly do you no physical harm, but since they're both very powerful, you will likely see things in a way that you didn't before. They're both far more eloquent and knowledgeable than I could ever hope to be, and they can explain these concepts and a lot more far better than I could. In summary, I want everyone to know that I am an atheist, but I'm certainly not evil, even by religious standards. I have no desire to hurt anyone, no desire to pillage and plunder and cause chaos everywhere that I go. Rational thinking has allowed me to be opened up to a whole new set of standards, one that I'm able to set for myself. And it's far more rewarding to know that the good things that I do are not done out of fear of God or hope for eternal life. I do them simply because we all must do good things. We all must work together to create a positive society that is free from war, hunger, and hatred. I encourage any of you that have any interest in the subject to research something theoretical called the Kardashev civilizations, which puts in perspective some of the things that must happen for us to avoid self-destruction and ensure the continuation of both mankind and the universe. Thank you very much for your time. That's all.